But yet again, we're in a room with an alien car, if you didn't notice, so anything's possible. Yeah. That's what we're coming to figure out. But no, we grew up in Goodrich, Minnesota, so not too far from here. And as kids, our grandparents always told us the story of the UFO car from Warren, and every year.
All the weird stuff that happened around here.
Yeah, because I guess there was some weird stuff happening around here back in the day.
Alive.
We weren't alive yet, but we heard about it. And then, of course, we came to the Marshall County Fair every year, and we saw the car, and it just amazed us and never ceased to amaze us. And still, every year when we come,
we notice something new every time.
Every time we come and see it, it seems like it's just, like the first time. And so then, of course, when we started writing songs, there was always kind of in the back of our heads. And one day we sat down with our co-writer, Mr. Jason Hammer, a friend of ours from Nashville, and he said, "Hey, let's write a story song." And I said, "I think we got a story for you. I think you might know a good story to write about." And so we watched all the documentaries and we read all the articles about the Val Johnson case, and we came back, and in about an hour we had the song finished, and that was 2 years ago. Well, fast forward now to June, our producers got a hold of us and they said, "All right, girls, it's time to go back into the studio to record your second album, your first full-length album." And we said, "All right, well, there's this song we really want to put on there. It's about an alien." And they looked at us and kind of like we were nuts, and I was like, "Okay, well, just listen to it." And so they took a listen and they said, "Okay, well, let's put it on the record." And so when we came to the fair this year, we already knew that we were going to record this song. And so we came to the museum thinking we were all sneaky, like we know that we're going to record this song, the secret song about this car that nobody else knows about. And so we come in and we see this big old sign that says 40th anniversary this August, and our eyes get real wide and chills ran up our body, because in the song there's a line that says 40 years ago, and when we wrote it we had no idea that it was actually 40 years ago.
It was actually very weird.
It was weird, and see, we're musicians, we're not good at math, that's why we do music. And so we saw that, and then the second thing we saw was that there's an actual audio clip of the call that Val Johnson called into the studio, and we said, "Oh, that is so cool." And we left the fair that night so excited, and we told our producers, "Hey, I think there's this clip. We should add this clip into the song somehow." And they said, "Okay, well, get to work." So
find it.
They were downstairs tracking guitar. We were upstairs tracking down that clip, and we made a couple calls. First we called the sheriff's department here in Marshall County. We talked to Deputy Willie Wagner, and he was super excited about the idea, but he said, "I have no idea where that clip is. You can try the Historical Society." So then we called the Historical Society and we talked to Miss Sherlyn, and she said, "Okay, well, I think maybe I could help you." So she spent a couple days and she tracked down the audio clip for us. So we have it now. It's going to be in the song somehow, which is super duper exciting. And this is just such a cool story, and so we're really glad that we could inspire a song about it. There are a couple things that are different, we'll tell you before we get going. First thing, I think the most notable thing.
The song is inspired about.
It's inspired by. And so we say Deputy Warren to pay homage to the town that has been so welcoming to us, instead of Deputy Johnson, things like that. And it's a story song, so we wanted to write it the way that we've heard the story growing up from our friends and from our neighbors, our grandparents, the guy at the coffee shop getting coffee, and so it's like a conversation, and you'll hear when we start playing it for you. It's just a conversation, and the story goes the way we do it. Nobody knows what happens, because really nobody knows the full story, which was what I think is one of the most interesting things about it.
Definitely.
And so with that being said, we're going to now play you our version of what happened that night. This is the Marshall County Incident.